got to give the man credit for that. A lot of people, can't do that. A lot of people don't want to admit that they were wrong. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Like, this whole experiment that just happened recently in the last like month or so. I believe it was December 14th to 18th. The final experiment, this millionaire pastor, Will Duffy, took a couple flat earthers and a couple globe earthers down to Antarctica to see if the 24-hour sun is true and to do some experiments. So they just did it. Like two of these popular guys, what's this dude? Austin Whitsitt and the Jeranism went down there, two popular flat earthers. And guess what? Now, since they went down there and are just being honest about what they've seen and about what the experiments were about, now they're getting, death threats. People are turning on them. All these guys are paid actors and agents. Even some of their close friends are turning on them that they've known for years. And it's just bizarre. It shows that, some people out there will just deny the truth even if it slaps them across the face. Like, look, there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. We were skeptical before because there was no official footage without cuts in it. But now that we have people down there that are reliable and trustable who have the footage unedited, we see that it's actually real. So instead of just pretending everybody's a liar and everybody's paid to lie and, there's a deception going on, we should just be man up and accept that we might have been wrong on one or two topics regarding, FE. And a lot of people don't want to admit that. Again, just because there's one thing that the flat earth got wrong, it doesn't immediately mean that the globe is true. Like, there was a dumbass in my comment section saying, oh, well, yeah, thanks Jeranism and Austin, now I know gravity's true and that the spinning globe is true because of what you guys said. Thanks a lot. And I think to myself, it's like, dummy, you do realize none of these guys came back and said that they now believe in gravity or NASA or the spinning globe. Like, literally none of them said that. So, like, it just shows people are acting very childish and pathetic, and I just find that very sad, man. Like, Jeranism did a beautiful video, I want to say maybe 3 days ago. He did a whole 3-hour stream, calling out the flat earth community as being, pathetic and childish. And he's right with most things he was saying in that stream where he was correct on about, it's very childish what this community has became these days. Everybody thinks everything is fake. If somebody says one thing you disagree with, that guy must be a paid shill actor agent. It's remarkable how childish idiots can be. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I called into this dude's live stream. I believe this cat's name was Silver Rain Soul Unchained Mind, which I call his ass chained, right? His ass is chained. His mind is chained. Right, but I called into this dummy stream, me and Jay, maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And, we ended up getting into a conversation about September 11th. And I agreed that there's certainly more to the story than what's being told. But I completely disagree when the dummy tried to say, oh, well, all the planes are not real. Like, all of that footage is edited. Then I asked the dude, well, what about like the thousands of civilians and tourists that were in New York who had, the capability of taking photos or record what they are seeing in real time? Like, what about literally the hundreds upon hundreds, maybe even thousands of video from regular civilians that are in the area who are recording the event of that day? So is all of that fake and not real? It was like, well, pretty much. And then I gave the dude a clear footage from a random civilian that was actually on like a ferry in the what was it, the Hudson or whatever, and they were recording one of the planes coming in, and you hear everybody, all the commotion in the background and all that. Clearly a real video of what's taking place. And this dumbass was like, oh, well, it sounds like a bunch of crisis actors to me. So it just proves that, some people are so retarded and stupid. No matter what you show them, even if Jesus descended from the heavens and bitch slapped these dudes across the face, it wouldn't make them change their mind, right? They'll still believe in the phony baloney garbage that they want to believe, even if the Son of Man descended from on high and literally backhanded these guys across the face and gave them the gospel. That still would not change their mind about what they believe. right? So the same thing with the September 11th. No matter what you show these guys, no matter what angle, no matter what footage, no matter what photographs you show these guys, nothing will change their mind that they could be wrong on like 1 or 2 points. And it was funny because the people were like, oh, well, ET's just pushing the mainstream view. But it's like, dummies, I literally, before the conversation about airplanes even came up, I literally said I agree that the mainstream view has errors in it. I literally agree that it's not what we're being told by the government. I agree there's some fishy stuff going on, but that doesn't automatically prove that everything, like all the planes are not real, or, you know, just holograms, or, you know, just edited in. Like, if you believe that, you're just stupid. Like, I'm sorry to inform you, but you're not a logical thinking person if you think that. Because the evidence is abundant that that's not true. You know, so it's just funny to me, you know, how stupid some people are. Like, some people can be smart on 1 or 2 topics, but then be a complete nut on other topics. Like this guy, Russian vids, right? Like, you know, it's funny, like these guys will be like, well, yeah, you know, there were Tartarian, you know, ancient societies that are so far advanced. But then they'll turn around and say, like, well, Stonehenge is like man-made, and you know, like 100 or 200 years ago, they just made Stonehenge as like a hoax, excuse me. Yeah, I got a piece of hair. Excuse me. But the funny part about it is that, you know, what they'll back it on is like they'll find like one random image on Google that's clearly edited, where they'll show like cranes putting the rocks in the ground, which again, it's like clearly edited if you look close. And then they'll pretend, well, see, there's the evidence. It's like, no, dummy, that's just a computer generated image by like AI or something about them putting these stones into place. Like, if you can believe in all this, you know, ancient civilizations advanced and all that, then why would it be so difficult to believe that a civilization maybe a couple thousand years ago could lay like 30 rocks in a formation? You know what I'm saying? Like how is that like so remarkable and astonishing to believe that a civilization can pull a couple 1,000-pound stones over the course of a couple decades or whatever, and just form them for like an area to do weddings or ceremonies or funerals or whatever. If they can build the pyramids or the you know, the Colosseum or the Pantheon or aqueducts, you know, hundreds of miles or whatever, well, why would it be so hard of a leap of logic to imagine that they could construct a Stonehenge? Like, I just don't get that. That's retarded. But again, it's just a good example how some of these guys, you know, they're very easy to manipulate and confuse. You know, it's just bizarre to me. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too drawn out. I just wanted to speak about that real quick. And